We know that a lot of you have been asking the question, hey, when are we going to open the church doors again? When are we all going to be together on a Sunday service? And well, I'm here to tell you that we wish we could give you a crystal clear answer on that. Right now, it's a little bit more of a not yet, but hopefully real soon. I just want to assure you that we are continuing to meet just as pastors and also as elders, as a leadership team, continuing to have conversations about the how and the when and everything that goes into it. We're continuing to seek advice, to be in constant prayer, and we would encourage you, we would ask for your prayers just in making that decision as well. We do know this, that we want to move forward in the wisest, most caring way possible. And so that is really our goal. I wanted to share with you, if I could, just for a moment, just a couple of lenses that we're sort of looking at this decision through this morning. One is, just to tell you this, although a lot of people may have some very strong opinions, maybe even some political views, for us, it's really not a political decision. For us, it just simply comes down to caring for people and really sticking to our mission as a church, which is to help people find and be formed into the likeness of Jesus. And so that first lens that I was talking about, we want to be a loving influence in our community. I mean, at Journey, we've never really just been about the insider anyways. We've always had a deep desire to be this influence in our community where really everyone and anybody feels welcomed, they feel loved, they feel cared for. And so really we want to make sure that our community, we want the community to be healthy, spiritually, emotionally, and now, well, even physically too. And we know that for many people, this threat of virus may not be too much of a concern for them, but we know also that there's an equal number of people that have real concerns. And, well, we care about that. We sympathize with that. We know that there are a lot of people who may be up there in age. Maybe you got young kids that you're concerned about. Maybe you got a health issue. Maybe it's that you're taking care of a loved one, and we want to make sure that those people, too, really belong and are welcome here. We're all a part of this spiritual community, and that no one gets marginalized. That's the first lens. The second is this, just to be really blunt and honest, is that we don't want to rush to provide a bad in-person experience. Now, trust me, as pastors, we are so looking forward to getting together, just like I know a lot of you are. But there's also a lot of logistics involved to doing that. So we're sort of thinking through, weeding through all of those things that we will have to do. And if I could be just real with you, I'm not so sure how enjoyable it's going to feel to a lot of us to really do some of the things that we do, where we celebrate and we fellowship and we worship with one another. For a lot of us, what we are longing for in coming back to a Sunday morning and all gathering together, I don't know that we're really going to love that experience at this point. But we're continuing to think through all of that. We're continuing to really think through how it is that we can be a welcoming church, have a welcoming Sunday service. And that's tough, obviously, when you can't touch. There's no hugs, there's no handshakes, there's no high fives. We also, of course, would only be able to, we'd only have to limit the number of people that would be in at one service at a time. We know it would be nearly impossible for us to do kids ministry right now because those little guys, they don't get that distancing thing. They don't get how germs are spread. And Some of us may take a little bit of issue with just the aroma of Lysol that's going to sit heavy as we fill our chairs in the sanctuary. And so we're thinking through all of that. It's not just simply an easy decision or a quick decision to just say, hey, let's open the doors and let's have everybody in for a service. There's obviously a lot of cleaning that needs to take place, which we're actually doing on an ongoing basis, but it's a little bit different for a service or several services on a Sunday morning. We know also it's going to take us a lot of volunteers to do all of that cleaning before, after the service, during, after something gets touched or whatever may be. It's going to take a lot of monitoring as well. Just simply figuring out what's been touched, what hasn't, how many people are here in the building. Maybe it's determining when someone goes into the bathroom, when someone comes out. It's a lot. Not to mention the fact that it is going to be quite a process for all of us to get in here in this building, to do all of the proper physical distancing, to set our chairs apart, the proper 6 feet and everything. It's going to be quite a process. Maybe a little bit of a nightmare. Now, it's doable, but if you were one who had trouble getting to the service on time already, well, this makes things a lot tougher. We want to be sensitive to that. And if you're wondering, why bother? Why jump through all of these hoops, these restrictions? And it's for this reason. We're well aware of the most obvious way that this virus is passed from one person to another, and it's the moisture that is in our breath. And so it's the sneezing, it's the coughing, it's the hard breathing, and we're well aware also that it's the singing. And now that can be a little problematic for us in our sanctuary. Again, doable, we believe, but something to be careful with. And so we're taking our precautions. And so for the many who have asked, even this week, when are we going to open our doors? Well, my clearest answer for you is not quite yet, but we hope real soon. We're, of course, still in phase 1 of Oregon's reopening, which right now we're really limited in our gathering. We can only do up to 25, which would make a Sunday service incredibly difficult for us to do. Once we get into phase 2 of Oregon's reopening, we're hopeful that we can do maybe some form of Sunday gathering. But again, it's tough to put some details to that because we're not quite sure what the criteria is going to be. We don't know yet what those restrictions are. We don't know yet what the size of gathering we will be allowed to do. So we're in a little bit of a wait and see pattern, but we'll continue to update you along the way.